Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a 2020 NBA players tier list. I am going to be putting players in tiers based on how good I think they are. There might be a little bias towards some players, but mostly I think I could do a pretty good list. Also, since some players didn't play this season or didn't play very much, like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, their kind of like careers or their past few seasons in the league will be taken into account for how good they are. And I guess let's just go. Bradley Beal for the first one. Pretty sure a multiple time All Star. Averaged 30 a game this year, which is pretty good since John Wall was injured. I'll put him in A tier for now. I might move him up later depending on how the rest of my placing goes. Kyrie, one of the top point guards in the league, best handles ever maybe. I would probably agree with that. He had a pretty good year with the Nets. He missed a bit of games towards the end of the year with some surgery, I think. But I'm also put him in the A. Damian Lillard, he had an amazing year this year, but he barely made the playoffs and then only lost in 5 games. So for that, I'm also going to have to put him in A, because him and Kyrie are kind of like the same skill level. Dame had a better year this year, but Kyrie had a better year, or had a better career so far overall. But I'll keep them the same. Probably going to have a lot in A, looking down the list. Donovan Mitchell, this is his 4th or 3rd year in the league, I don't remember. He's an amazing player, one of my favorite players in the league right now. But is he better than the other 3 on the list right now? I think he'll be about B for now. He's not quite at all their level yet, but they're close. Kind of like the same for Pascal Siakam. He had a great year last year, won a championship. This year he became a little bit better. Didn't do very good in the playoffs though, but he's been improving. I'll put him with Donovan Mitchell. De'Aaron Fox, who was in the same draft class as Donovan Mitchell. I haven't really heard a lot about the Kings, so I don't really know a whole lot about De'Aaron, but he's a pretty good young point guard, so I'll put him in B as well. This looks to be Kyle Kuzma, as I can see. I think. I don't know. I don't know why that guy's in there. I can't really tell who that is. I'll just leave him out. This, I think, is DeJounte Murray on the Spurs. I think he's apparently a pretty good defender, but I don't know that he's very good compared to the other ones, so he'll go down in the D tier. Devin Booker had one of his best seasons this season. He has become one of the top shooting guards in the league, so I think he'll also go in A for now. I might put him to A+. Him and Bradley Beal are kind of the same level of play. Kelly Oubre, all the Suns fans simp over this man for some reason, I guess because he's just a light skin and he's kind of good at basketball, but I'm putting him in C tier. Joel Embiid, in my opinion, the best center in the league. Probably even the best big man overall in the league. He had a pretty good year this year. He was the only one doing anything for the Sixers in the playoffs. They got swept. So I'm gonna have to put him A+ though. Best big man in the league. Ben Simmons, his teammate. He's had a good first couple years, but I'm gonna probably for now have to put him at B. He's just not putting up the numbers he needs to be putting up to be winning. Jonathan Isaac. D'Angelo Russell had a All-Star appearance in 2019, got traded to the Warriors this offseason, then to the Timberwolves mid-season. He's pretty good. He had at least, I think, one 50-point game this year. Pretty good point guard to have on your team. I'll go with B tier. Now, Ocampo, in my opinion, now probably the best player in the league. He had arguably the greatest season by one player ever, except for in the playoffs. He didn't do very good, but that doesn't matter. The MVP is about the regular season, and he had the best regular season maybe ever by one player. Also won Defensive Player of the Year. Absolutely amazing year for him. Jimmy Butler, if you watch the finals, you know this guy went off. He did amazing against LeBron and the Lakers even though they lost. I'm going to have to put him in A. If it was just from the playoffs, I'd put him in A+ maybe, because of how good he was doing, but I can't. Robin Lopez is a D. This guy is terrible. I hated watching him on the Bulls. I hated that he got traded to the Bucks because he's definitely the reason they lost in the playoffs to the Heat. It's all Robin Lopez's fault. Ja Morant, he's with B, kind of a bit of a lower B, because I'd say he's about the same level as Zion, if not better. Maybe I would probably argue. He did win Rookie of the Year. He almost led the Grizzlies to the playoffs this year in his first season, which is pretty good for that young of a team. Anthony Davis is A+, maybe S, but he's like a high A+, almost S. He's also probably one of the best big men in the league, right up there with Joel Embiid. LeBron, that's S, been the best player of this past 10 years. And Kawhi Leonard I would also put in S. He didn't really carry, but he led the Raptors to a championship in 2019 against the Warriors. Even though they were injured, it's still an amazing feat to defeat that Warriors team. He had a little bit of a slower season this year. He missed a bit more games, but he's still probably a top 5-4 player in the league. Paul George, playoff P, he didn't do very good, especially in the semifinals against the Nuggets, blowing the 3-1 lead, but it's not just his fault. Kawhi did bad too, but Paul George, I'll probably put him A. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I've liked him for a while now. Victor Oladipo, he had a horrific injury in the 2019 season, missed the whole rest of that season, missed almost all of this season, but had a good comeback, I think, if I can remember. But I'm going to put him B, because this is mainly for this year, and he didn't have the greatest year, but he was still performing good. Whoops. Put him at the end. There we go. Russell Westbrook, I don't know, he's had a kind of good year stats-wise, but he just kind of forgot how to shoot the basketball. Looking like Shaq on the free throw line. But I'm going to have to put him A. He still averaged 27, 8, and 8. 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, I think, which is still pretty good. Let me check real quick on Basketball Reference. Averaged about 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. My bad. That's still pretty good numbers, though. Probably one of the top 5 point guards for the past 6 years, 7 years, maybe. James Harden is A+. He's ever since 2015. He's always been in the top 3 or top 5 of MVP voting. He's been just averaging ridiculous stats over the past few years, and he's just an elite scorer. Klay Thompson, he missed this whole year from an Achilles injury in the finals in 2019, but he's arguably one of the best two-way shooters in the league, so I'm gonna have to put him A. He's not at A+, so I think A is pretty good for him. Steph Curry, he also missed the entire year this year from a broken hand in the preseason, I'm pretty sure, but I would have to say A+, a high A+. He's almost at S. He's always a top 5 player in the league, and I might move him depending on where I put some of the rest of the players. doing pretty good in the regular season too. Luka, in only his second year, came out as a hot pick for the MVP race already, which is just insane for someone who's like 21 years old. He averaged a near 30-point triple-double, which is pretty crazy for someone his age. I'm gonna have to put him A+. Not quite S, I don't think, but I think A+ is pretty good for Luka, even though the Hornets are terrible. Kevin Durant, he didn't play at all this year because of his Achilles injury as well in the NBA Finals, and a calf strain too in a previous series. But I'm gonna have to put him S. He's been probably a top 5 player in the league for the past like 9-10 years. Just absolutely amazing. Kyrie's in again. Taco Fall. It's funny to say that he's pretty good. He's really tall, but I'm gonna have to put him C because he's not really like the greatest, and he doesn't get much playing time anyway. And Trae Young, also in his second year, came out averaging, I think he might have actually averaged 30 points a game. If not, then pretty close. So, Trae Young, I'll probably have to put him A. Yeah, he averaged just under 30 a game and 9 assists a game too, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, this is my tier list. Do I want to make any adjustments? I'll put Curry in S. He's been one of the best players in the league for a while now. Let's see, is this how I like it? I think it is. Leave a like, I guess, if you enjoyed. This is my tier list for the best players in the league. If you disagree with me, I honestly don't really care, but that's nice to know. And leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, I guess. I'm in the work of editing a basketball game I played with another YouTuber, my good friend Mr. Ja, and my other friend Ethan, so be on the lookout for that, I guess. Bye.